As Ernest Hemingway noted, the world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are stronger in the broken places.
Every one of us who's a goal achiever sets goals, but very few people think about the obstacles that are there and them overcoming the obstacles.
To understand, the only difference between the possible and the impossible is your set of skills, a belief in yourself.
Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make.
You have to be grateful for what you can get. Plain and simple. Like, be grateful for what you have, because that's, like, we're lucky to even be here. You know, you have to start in that mindset. It's like, you can't, that's the problem with social media right now, is that you're comparing yourself to people that have like this large success, and you're like, I want to play there. But you first have to go with what you have in front of you and make that meaningful.
Is that you decide you want to make come true in your life, you can do that. It is going to take an inhuman amount of work. You're going to have to be prepared to break yourself in half. You are going to have to learn more than anyone has ever learned. You're going to have to push yourself harder than anyone has ever asked you to push yourself before. You're going to go way beyond your breaking point. You're going to run until you vomit. You're going to study until you fall asleep. You're going to push and push and push.
That most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
If you constantly remind yourself, after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down, I've got a saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. See, a lot of people, because of failure, they stop believing. Let me share something with you. You will fail your way to success. Yes, 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. You will fail your way to success. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times people tell you that you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dime in the bank. You will fail your way to success.
You don't make excuses for the failure, you grieve it. You feel the pain. You don't brush it off, you don't downplay it. You feel the pain and you don't rush to feel better. Now, listen, this is a principle of life I'm about to tell you. To get past it, you gotta go through it. That's true in so many areas, but it's particularly true with failure. To get past your failure, that failure in your life, you gotta go through it. You can't go around your failure. You can't go over your failure. You can't go under your failure. You can't ignore your failure. You need to grieve the failure.
We all have things that we're believing for, dreams that we want to accomplish, problems we're hoping will turn around. Maybe it's to see our family restored, to lose some weight, to break an addiction, to start our own business. It's easy to get discouraged and think, it's never going to happen. This is as good as it gets. I'll just learn to live with it. We all go through disappointments, setbacks, loss. Pain is a part of life. It's easy to get discouraged, even bitter. Think, why is this happening to me?
Losing focus is another way that founders get off track. I actually think this is a symptom of burnout. When you get really burned out on running the business, you want to do easier things or sort of more gratifying things. You want to go to conferences and have people tell you how great you are. You know, you want to do all these things that are not actually building the business. And the most common post-YC failure case for the companies we fund is that they're incredibly focused during YC on their company, and then after they start doing a lot of other things. You know, they advise companies, they go to conferences, whatever. Focus is what made you successful in the first place. There are a lot of reasons people lose focus, but fight against that really, really hard.
What happened to the survival instinct you were born with? Kicking and screaming your way into the world. Fighting for one breath of air. Fighting for life. We get beaten down so many times along the way. We forget to kick and scream. We forgot how hard we fought for that first breath. we forget how to fight back.
You need to feel the pain. Now, we don't like feeling bad, but grief is a good thing. Grief is the way we get through the failure, and grief is the way we learn the lessons. So often, we want to just, when we fail, we want to just forget it, push it aside, stuff our emotions, and then immediately go to the next thing.
What if you awoke in the middle of the night to the terrified screams of your family? Will you hide in the shadows and hope for the best? Or would you attack with such ferocity the devil himself will cover in fear? That is how you attack every game. Fighting to take your life back because you were born a beast. And don't you dare let any sheep convince you otherwise. Tear any man limb from limb that tries to put you back in that cage. You rip him to shreds. No one will deny you. No one will stop you. A wild animal with one last chance to make whatever it takes to get back to where you belong. At the top of the food chain. You are king of the jungle. You rule this world and answer to no one. Today is the day. Now is the time.
It is far more fun to die on your sword than to die on someone else's. I'm inspired, YouTube. We're gonna make this the episode thing. You'll get whatever you want, Tyler, but this is the core of it. Dying on your sword is better than dying on someone else's. So many of you are doing things, making decisions, and navigating your lives based on somebody else's thesis. You're doing it because you think it's the right thing, because your dad's telling you it's the right thing. Are doing things right now. Yesterday, you made a decision that you don't believe in, but you're smart. You did it because you know how your company scores. Here's the problem with disruption and innovation. Right now, you're being rewarded for being a yes person, and in 36 months, you're gonna be fired for being a yes person. Figure that the f out. You know it, and I know it. You just need to do something about it.
Stand up and you stand tall. Because you know you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Don't sit back and watch them take what's yours. Show no mercy. Show no mercy to your opponents. Take their game and shove it right back in their face. Let them watch in awe as you smash through your plateaus and obliterate their records. Work until you have nothing left. Then go again and again. If you can breathe, you have opportunity. Seize that opportunity.
When you stuff your emotions, when you swallow your emotions, your stomach keeps score. It's kind of like, what if you took a can of Coke and you shook it up for a long time and then you put it in the freezer? What's going to happen to it? It's going to explode eventually. It's going to come out sideways. And this happens in your life when you don't deal with your emotions properly. You've shaken up the can and you've got all these emotions feeling inside of shame and regret and fear and insecurity and all the things that come with failure, and you're not dealing with them. And so you shake it up and you say, we're just going to put this in the refrigerator and try to forget about it, and we're going to freeze it, and it's going to explode, and it's going to come out sideways in an affair or in wrong behavior or an impulsivity or an addiction or all kinds of other things. I have seen this thousands of times in people's lives. You don't minimize it. You don't rush to feel better. To get past your failure, you've got to go through the failure.
Don't you grow old and gray, begging for one more chance. Everyone has brick walls in their way. Real men of steel are forged in adversity. You will smash through any obstacle. You won't sleep until you've done all you can do to be one step closer to where you belong. Attack your goal. Leave no doubt tonight. Show them who is king.